day it is. Anyway, I am taking a little bit of a drive. We're hitting the road here. I'm driving about a half an hour to hit a couple of thrift stores. I've been to these before, but it's been a while, and I am moving up in the thrift store today for listing 5 items a day. So we've been consistently selling 4 items a day. And so the way to do this is once you get to that sustainable pace of we're listing 4, selling 4, well, then now we're going to try to move to listing 5, selling 5. And I'm just going to kind of walk this up just one at a time until we're kind of comfortable with that. We actually sold 4 clothing items yesterday. That video is already out for channel members. And so just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about this strategy. And so what's going on is this transition from food and gig delivery being the primary income, which is solid but not scalable, to something that is scalable but not solid, which is reselling. And so, certainly there's ups and downs all the time when you are doing any of these things, because it's dependent on what you find. Food delivery is dependent on what offers get sent to you. However, there's a little more control that you have when you're doing reselling, because you specifically are relying on your knowledge. There's no algorithm that's going to say, sorry, you found enough clothing items today. No, if there's a haul of clothing that's available at a thrift store, I could buy all of it. There's not going to be any limit. And your best case scenario on an average day for food delivery, like a good delivery, $40, $50, $70, $80 on a great day, something like that. That's it. And a lot of these apps are going to kind of say, hey, you know what? That's enough delivery for you. We're not going to send you any more great offers right now. And with thrifting and reselling, there's no one who's going to give you a limit to that sort of thing, where they're going to say, oh, sorry, you already found 10 good clothing items at this thrift store. The algorithm says that's all you get for today. No, you can get in more than what you put out. And there's not really going to be a limit. The limit's going to be your own mind. The limit's going to be your own time. So that's why I'm expanding out. So I've already been to the 6 main thrift stores in my town. So I'm driving a half an hour north. We're going to hit a couple more. I only have a handful of hours. So I'm not going to be thrifting live with you guys on stream, but I figured, during the drive, I've got time. I'm not going to, I had orders on for a while just to see. I took one McDonald's order this morning, which was like a $6 plus. It turned into 14. But DoorDash keeps messing with their whole on time thing, so I'm back down to gold. So it's like there was absolutely nothing coming through on Instacart this morning. So I was like, I'm not going to sit around and do nothing. I'm to the point where I'll go out and I want to work and I want to put stuff in. But if all these apps are going to play games, I got life to do. I'm not going to play games. And so I'm going to get out there and I am going to go make something work for me. And so that's what I was like, you know what? I gave it 2 solid hours, made $14 in 2 hours. This is ridiculous. We're moving on. So we're going to drive a half an hour north. We're going to I'll get 2 for sure. I'm going to try to squeeze in 3. I don't even know. There's only 2 I know of up here, but I know there's more. I just don't know. Not ones I've specifically been to. No 80s today. How's it going, Tornado? Zelda, good morning to you. So yeah, so we're just out driving around. So I'd love to kind of talk anything that you guys want to know about thrifting or reselling. I'm doing about 5 days a week. I'm giving updates on what I'm buying for the eBay store. So everything I buy today, that'll be in tomorrow's video, as well as what's selling in the eBay store. So we're kind of just slowly working our way up. I've watched a lot of videos, taking a lot of inspiration from Daily Refinement and Tech and Sports, and I've just watched hundreds of hours of their videos. And I'm not a new eBay seller. My eBay account is 20 years old, but I am getting new to getting back into eBay and getting back into trying to resell as a full-time income. And so I'm trying to do this scaling. I'm trying to do this cash only. So all the items that I'm buying, are with cash that I've gotten from items that I've sold. So I started with items around the house. I've been thrifting around my town, and this is really my first intentional road trip thrifting that I've done since we restarted this journey about 10 weeks ago or so. But I'm realizing that, okay, if I go through all my thrift stores, there's 6 main ones. There's a few other smaller ones, but they're really hit or miss. They're not consistent. They're small. They're like the small charity shops, or they're the overpriced, boutique type of thrift stores. But I need to get to more Goodwill type of stores. I don't even know if there's a Savers near us. I do think there is a Savers a little bit somewhere in this north area, and I might look that up. But I've got a couple of stores I'm going to because I went there previously and had good finds at both of them. So I'm going to start there first, go to what I know. But like I said, it's been 4, 5, 6 weeks since I've been to either of these stores. And I only even went to these because I dropped my son off at a birthday party. And I was like, okay, well, let me just see what's here for the next couple hours. So I'm just going back to what I already know, and then we'll kind of adjust from there, and I'm going to have to see. But the goal would be probably first to move to doing the eBay and the thrifting on weekday daytimes, where I could just foresee myself, Monday through Thursday morning, at least Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, from say 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. I could go to 3 thrift stores a day out in other areas. And I do think I'll speed up and get faster. But right now, for like a Goodwill, it takes me 2 hours to go through all the clothing because I am literally trying to touch every single piece of clothing because it's the fastest way I can think of to learn along this process is touch every piece of clothing, look up every label that I am not familiar with of anything that is slightly curious to me or anything like that. So I know I will get faster, but I also know what my current pace is now. And I mean, I'm not spending a second. I mean, a lot of these clothing items, I'm touching them quarter of a second, half a second, just quick flip through everything. But I'm pushing myself to learn, and this is how I'm finding new brands and discovering things. BC, yeah, and I'm trying to push. So eBay is the side hustle now, but I'm trying to make it the main hustle, and basically trying to use everything with Q4 that's coming. Let that be the inspiration that will push that food delivery and gig delivery becomes the side hustle. Basically, I want them to flip flop. I want the primary income coming off of this, but in order to do that, I've got to be figuring out. So this is kind of a bit of a schedule shift for me. So I pushed myself really hard. On Monday, I went to every thrift store in my town, every major thrift store. Like I said, we got boutique ones. So there's 6. There's 6 main thrift stores in my town. So I went through all 6 of those. And today, we're going to go up. I'm actually going 2 towns to the north. There's a couple of thrift stores in the town just to our north, but 2 towns, 3 towns actually. So it's up in Fort Myers. There's a ton more thrift stores. And I will be making this trip on a regular basis. I would say 2 to 3 days a week. I'll probably be making this trip, not going to the same thrift stores, but just to get to all the different thrift stores that are up here. And honestly, it's more enjoyable to me than the food and gig delivery side. I'll still do that out of necessity, but now that school has started again, we have income coming in from my wife over the next 8 months or so. We got 8 months of doing that, and then that's probably it for her. And so I've got 8 months to build a sustainable eBay business that replaces all my wife's income and all the food delivery income. And so that's why we're trying to do it smart. That's why I'm being accountable to you guys and posting videos on a regular basis. Like I said, 5 days a week. So make sure you hit that like and that subscribe if you want to see this journey of transition. So if you're a channel member, you actually get early access to the videos. Today's video is already up for channel members, just as a special thank you to those of you who do support the channel, because any little extra income that comes in through YouTube is that's going towards a new car or a second car for our family, which when that happens, that means I won't have to come home to pick up the family from school. So that's really, we're pushing hard for that, but of course we're also working to get out of debt here too. And so anyway, that's what we have going on. But for everybody else, that video will be out at 3 o'clock today. You can see all the sales. We did sell 4 clothing items yesterday, and today was the very first day that I listed 5 items. So I have a couple day draft bank. I've kind of realized that I don't right now. I don't need a 7 or 10 or 12 day draft bank or 14 or 21 day draft bank. In other words, listings that are ready to go up. I just don't need them because it's not the primary income yet. I just need to make sure that I've got roughly 10 to 15 items listed and ready to go. And every couple of days I can sit down and get them listed. Now, when I'm full time, then that's different, right? I need to have that margin. But since this is not primary income yet, I was realizing that I was actually slowing down my store by having a big draft bank because I had all this money tied up in product that wasn't for sale yet. And so I do believe in the draft bank, but I think if you're just starting off like me, restarting off this journey, I think this idea of just making sure you have a couple of days ready to go, that way, okay, it's good. And I love it. I wake up in the morning and like the first couple things I do, like before I'm even moving out of bed, is I check and see if there are any sales overnight. Was there anything else that I actually had to sell overnight? And then after that, I list my 5 items and I just do it. They're all ready to go. I just click list, they can all go live. So it's not the same exact time every day, but it's usually within about a half an hour at the same time every day. Those items are up. And one of the items I listed yesterday morning sold yesterday afternoon. Which is what we're going for here. Obviously, a high turnover. I'm trying to turn over my whole store every 90 days. Now, that's not going to happen perfectly, but that's the goal. And that's how all my sales, my discounts are all revolving around that. So I have total store alignment that within 90 days, I'm blowing things out. And even if it means I take a little bit of a loss, it's the fastest way to learn is to sell your stupid stuff. Most people sit on their stupid stuff for years and years and years, and I'm taking the opposite approach, which is if I make a bad buy, I want it gone as soon as possible. And within 90 days, to me, is reasonable because I'm buying things with the thought process that they're going to sell in 30 days. I'm trying to buy things that are going to sell fast. So if I'm buying things that I think should sell in 30 days and they don't sell by 90, it's time to move on. Now, different stores are going to have different levels of that. If you're running an antique store or vintage store, that's a little bit of a different process because some of those buyers are hard to come by. And I got a couple of items that are super like high-end items that are, they're wrapped into my discount sales right now, but I might actually start pulling them separate and not discounting them because they really are kind of wait for the right buyer because of the value, because of their high demand within their field, but generally speaking, there's not that many people looking for them. But the people that are looking for them, you're not going to sell it if you lower it by $100. You're going to just sell it when the day that person comes around and wants to buy it. So anyway, so yeah, I'm just making this trip up. I figured just kind of say hi to everybody. And we're going to just see what we find. All of our finds will be in tomorrow's video. So again, like I said, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, and we'll just kind of show you this constant journey of moving from eBay being a side hustle to a full-time hustle. And I'm not saying I'm going to stop when eBay's full-time. That doesn't mean that I might start a new project that I think is going to be even bigger than eBay. But right now, eBay is bigger than food and gig delivery, and I want to help people. Because if you get in this food and gig delivery thing, and it can kind of be a trap. It can kind of trap you because there's a ceiling, and that ceiling is going to vary from market to market, but you can't scale it, and those apps don't reward you for doing good work. They actually punish you. The more successful you are, the more you tend to get punished on those apps. So eBay tends to be the opposite. If you provide good customer service, they will reward you with more sales. And so I want to take advantage of that to the best of my ability. So hopefully this was helpful for you if you're kind of looking to get into this game, and explain how I'm trying to make that transition out. But I'm within like 10 miles here, so I'm going to go over the GPS because I don't know exactly how to get here. But we're going to go get that done, and be looking for tomorrow's video. I'll show you all the finds that I got today, and you'll know that I was there first. So as always, hit that like, hit that subscribe. If you want to become a channel member, support the channel, you can go ahead and do that as well. Appreciate all of you, and we will catch you soon.